very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Medina Azaki. Coming up, job creation and access to capital, CAC empowers Nigerian youth. CAC delegates shine at 50th anniversary of the African Public Relations Conference. Plus, a focus on orderly exit of registered entities. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Starting a business can be exciting, but it often comes with a mountain of paperwork and significant bureaucracy. But wait, there is an easier and better way. Introducing the new and highly improved CAC's Company Registration Portal, your AI-powered solution to effortlessly register your company and get started on your entrepreneurial and business journey. Thanks to the visionary leadership of Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, SAN, the Registrar General CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, your entrepreneurial and business journey will now be faster, smarter, and hassle-free. With our intelligent AI platform, your business registration journey has become easier. During this first phase of our three-phase deployment of AI, the AI CRP expedites your name availability process, as well as the company registration itself. The AI guides you step by step, ensuring everything is done correctly, with real-time error checking and name suggestions, making it cost-effective for you to achieve name availability and instant registration. Join the future of business registration. Visit www.pre.cac.gov.ng today.
Welcome back. We begin with some caution for CAC's esteemed customers and the general public. Public notice. The Corporate Affairs Commission, the CAC, wish to call on all its esteemed customers and the general public to disregard any phone call purported to be from the Commission demanding customers to download some applications or disclose particulars of their companies. The CAC wishes to dissociate itself from such calls, WhatsApp messages, text messages, or emails. The Commission will never instruct customers to download any particular application or disclose their particulars. Please be properly guided and beware of fraudsters. Signed, Management. We hope this message is well received. And now, youth empowerment. The Corporate Affairs Commission has reinvigorated its efforts towards sensitizing students in higher institutions on the need to register their businesses before graduation. The drive is aimed at realizing the full potentials of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The initiative has so far accorded priority attention to job creation, opportunities for youth, as well as providing access to capital. The CAC, on its part, recently launched a vigorous sensitization campaign across tertiary institutions nationwide, where its officers held meetings to educate students on the importance of registering a business name before leaving school. The Registrar General Hussaini Ishaq Magaji San maintained that graduating with not only an academic certificate but with an enterprising certificate was a powerful tool for self-reliance and entrepreneurship. Magaji therefore restated CAC's commitment to realizing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision for job creation and economic inclusion for Nigerian youth. We say thumbs up to the hardworking RG. Let's go across borders and talk about capacity development and image creation. Over 500 public relations professionals converge in Mombasa, Kenya to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the African Public Relations Association, APRA. The historic event, APRA Kenya 2025, was held on June 9th to 13th, 2025 in Mombasa, Kenya, with 54 speakers from 54 countries. The landmark event brought together professionals, experts, and thought leaders in the field of public relations from around the world. The event, which also doubles as the 36th edition of APRA's annual conference, was endorsed by major global PR associations such as International Public Relations Association. Other endorsements were from the Global Alliance for Public Relations and Communication Management, Public Relations and Communication Association, and national associations across continents. The event themed Transforming Africa Through Safe and Responsible Digital Communication also has a sub-theme: Connect, Collaborate, and Communicate. CSE Weekly report that the event presented a robust platform for networking, knowledge sharing, and discussion on latest trends, challenges, and opportunities in public relations and strategic communication. Commenting on the 50th anniversary of the APRA and a legacy of excellence in PR, the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji San, renewed his commitment to investing in capacity development to promote excellence in line with his 4-point agenda. Magaji maintained that CAC's unwavering commitment to staff welfare and professional development to deliver world-class service. CSE Weekly reports that Nigeria had over 80 delegates at the APRA 2025, 5 of which were from the CAC. Ghana 68, Uganda 35, Zambia 15, South Africa 13, and Cameroon 3, among others. From Kenya, we now cross over to our interview segment to hear more about orderly exit of registered enterprises. Justin Nidia-Barrow, Special Advisor to the Registrar General, and the CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji San, is our guest. Sit back, relax, and enjoy watching. Mr. Nidia Justin Barrow, Special Assistant to the Registrar General at CAC, many thanks for joining us on the program again.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back from the break.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Today we're talking about orderly exits of registered entities, and these entities include the limited liability company, the limited liability partnership, the limited partnership, the business name, as well as the incorporated trustee. But the question will be, if I register my company, I can also jejely leave when I want.
Well,
I don't have to enter all this grammar of orderly exit and forceful exit.
Well, that is what we want to discourage.
Okay.
And that is why...
I registered with my money.
Yeah.
And I can decide to leave when I want to leave.
Of course, yes. But what we are saying is that, one, for instance, at the time you needed the company, you took deliberate steps to register it.
And I follow the legal procedure.
And you follow the legal procedure. Okay. So when you no longer need it also, it is incumbent on you that you should take the same deliberate step to exit orderly.
But before we go into the nitty-gritties, at what cost?
Well, the cost is usually very minimal compared to other associated costs of leaving it hanging.
If I want to put it into Naira and Kobo, how much is it?
Well, it wouldn't be much if you took early steps.
So let's go to the, orderly exit. What does it entail?
Well, like you mentioned, we register about 5 different entities. Each one of them has procedure for orderly exit. Okay, if the enterprise is no longer needed. Okay, for limited liability companies, the owners have an option of whether they will go for what is called voluntary winding up, or now an additional procedure of what is called voluntary striking off. And voluntary striking off happens when the company has not carried on any business since time of registration. Okay. Yes. For limited liability partnership, the same thing, because it takes the character of a limited liability company. Then for business name, majorly what it requires is you file what is called notice of cessation of business, which is not as tedious and difficult as that of limited liability company. Okay. Then for incorporated trustees, which has different framework, what the people should always note is that you cannot extinct the life of an incorporated trustees without involving the courts. Okay. So you have to go to court at any point in time.
Okay. Under orderly exits, I'm looking at mergers and acquisitions. I'm looking at package sales. What does all this mean?
Well, merger and acquisition, like the name suggests, is that when you no longer need the business, maybe another person has shown interest also in the business to continue with the line of business, you can decide to merge, in which case what is called the surviving company or the acquirer, that's the technical name, will buy over the assets and the liabilities of the company that is no longer interested in carrying on business. And what will happen is that the company that is no longer interested in carrying on business will be dissolved without winding up.
Okay, all right. And then for the business name, you only give notice of cessation?
Yes, it's technically called cessation of business.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then for the incorporated trustee, it has to be dissolution?
It has to be through the court.
Okay.
But those who promoted the incorporated trustees usually have an option. The law allows either 50% of the members. If they are no longer interested in running the incorporated trustees, they can petition the Federal High Court for dissolution of the company.
Okay.
Also, the trustees, if they think that they are no longer interested in running the district, they can also petition the Federal High Court for dissolution of the incorporated trustees.
Okay. What are some of the advantages that comes with orderly, exit?
Well, orderly exit is something that the promoters of the business or the NGO plan for. And for anything that you plan, you will always have at the background of your mind how to manage the outcomes that will result from whatever step you want to take. For instance, if you have decided not to run the business, for instance, you have decided that you are going to do a voluntary winding up, what you will need, for instance, is to convince the members of the general public that it is not because of the issue of insolvency that you want to wind up the...
Okay. What if I hide under the issue of insolvency?
Well, it will eventually be discovered.
Okay.
For the reason that, first of all, if you want to do a voluntary winding up, you do what is called a declaration of solvency. And by declaration of solvency, what you are saying to the general public is that within a time frame of 1 year, the company will be able to pay its debts and liabilities in full. Okay. Yes. So if that declaration has no root, then as soon as you start paying off the debts and the liabilities, it will become obvious at certain points that you had lied.
Okay.
Hid under the cover, and there are consequences for lying on oath.
Okay. I'm seeing that the orderly exit also protect directors from possible liabilities.
Yes. Why that is so is because, for instance, if you allow a company to be dormant for a long period of time, and the company is subsequently striking off the register, the law allows Corporate Affairs Commission to go after the directors and recover statutory liabilities that have accumulated over the years, which doesn't happen if, for instance, you took the initial step to do what is called voluntary striking off or voluntary winding up of the company.
Okay, for those who will just go away quietly, they end up with striking off. So nobody's going to call them to pay any liability. The only thing is that they're going to lose the name of the company and every other thing.
No,
but nobody's going to call them to pay any liability.
No, that's why we say that the law allows the commission to go after the directors that have allowed the statutory liabilities to accumulate in the first place.
So let's go to the forceful exit. At what point do entities fall into this category?
Well, usually when entities become bankrupt, that's the technical language. When they become bankrupt, then there is no option other than to compulsory wind up the company. Yes. And bankruptcy usually is looked at as when the total assets of the company cannot service total liabilities of the company.
So what are the disadvantages that comes up with forceful exit?
Well, usually because it is not planned, it's something that is forced on the company. It comes with consequences. First of all, there is a loss of income for the directors that were hitherto running the company because they will lose their directors' remuneration. Then secondly, the shareholders will also lose because the possibility of the company declaring profit will no longer be there. Then the employees automatically will be fired because there will no longer be enough money.
Send them forcefully to
You send them to the unemployment market.
Yes.
Then the customers also that were dealing with the company will no longer have, if they are distributors for the company, for instance, or if there are others that supply inputs into the company, all sources of income will be blocked. And even the government is not spared because the government will also lose taxes. So it doesn't help anybody at all.
Okay. And from experience, which one happens most often? Is it the orderly exit or the forceful exit?
Depending on the enlightenment in the society, where you have highly educated nationals, people will always know that there are responsibilities. That has
not ashamed of
well, is for that voluntary process, you are not saying that you have failed. You have just decided that you are no longer interested in running the business. So if anybody wants to take over the business, he can buy it over.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the forceful.
The forceful is something that is considered not voluntary, is forced upon. But like any other thing, it also happens. It may not necessarily be the fault of those in charge of the companies. Sometimes changes in economic conditions or even consumer demands will force a company to be wound up.
Okay. Okay. Does the commission in any way, have measures to check before any of this happens?
Well, from looking at the financial statement of companies over time, you will be able to discover patterns, particularly if a company sustains loss over 3-4 years period, except it is willing to go through what is considered insolvency practice, that's business restructuring. The likelihood is that that company will eventually be wound up.
Okay, in no time.
In no time, whether now or in the future.
All right. Okay, as we wind up, what exactly will you be telling, owners of registered entities? If you have an opportunity to talk to them one-on-one.
What we will advise them is that, one, people should not register enterprises for the sake of it. If you don't have any underlying business, then you have no business registering any entity. Entities should be registered because you have a vision, you have a passion, and you have business idea that you want to translate into action. So the time when people register company and put the certificate under briefcase, it's over. It's over. No. Yes.
All right. Finally, on the same topic, what is the burden, whether voluntary or forceful, on the commission? What kind of burden does it pose on the commission?
First of all, you will notice that there is a concept they call carrying cost. So by carrying cost, we mean that for the entities to remain on the register itself, particularly in this age, there are a lot of expenses that you incur in keeping them on the register. First of all, they will occupy computer space. which is...
So you have to manage computers?
You have to keep memory, where you keep what is called redundant data. So in an ideal situation, that data should be off the register to create space for active companies. So that is number one. In other societies, you don't only incur cost for electronic maintenance of the data, but you also pay for sometimes insurance to keep even those things. Then apart from that, you have to also, since you have not removed them formally from the register, you have to think of what is called disaster recovery plan, even for the redundant companies. So there are usually costs associated in keeping them with this thing. And above all, they also create a false impression that the economy is actually doing well. Well, it is not. Yes, if you have to use the measure of how many companies you have registered as a sign of success of the economy. Yes.
Okay. So all in all, the Commission will prefer companies that are well and running?
Of course, every other person will prefer an active company, because what is the purpose of having a company that is inactive and is not contributing
a dime to the economy
or to the society generally?
All right. Mr. Ndidia Barrow, Special Assistant to the Registrar General, many thanks for your time as always.
Thank you.
Thumbs up to Mr. Ndidia for this educating segment. Now, let's take a look at this message on the importance of the PSC filing straight from the Registrar General's desk.
Did you know that it is now mandatory by law for companies to declare all persons with significant control of ownership of company to the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC? Listen to the Registrar General of the CAC.
By the extant regulation in Nigeria, the identity of the person behind any company must be disclosed.
By virtue of Section 119 and 791 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020 and the Person with Significant Control Regulations of 2022, the law aims to enhance transparency in corporate ownership across Nigeria.
Any person or any individual with ultimate power or with 5% interest holding must disclose his identity.
Under this law, any company that fails to disclose the beneficial owner of its company or the ultimate person in the company who has influence either directly or indirectly, or the person with 5% shareholding and above or voting rights may face serious consequences.
The law required that any person who assumed that position must disclose that position to that company within 7 days. And the company must communicate same and file same to the Corporate Affairs Commission within 30 days.
The identity of the beneficial owner must be a name of a natural person. Failure to comply attracts daily penalties imposed by law.
If it is a natural person, it attracts 5,000 daily from the date of breach. But if it is a unnatural person, it requires 10,000 from the day of the breach to the day of compliance, and it also attracts administrative penalties by the Corporate Affairs Commission.
The CAC reserves the right to refuse to receive any filings from any non-compliant company or even to list the company from its register. For more details, check the Person with Significant Control website at bor.cac.gov.ng or visit the Corporate Affairs Commission's official website at www.cac.gov.ng. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
What a beautiful delivery there by the RG himself. And do you know that by the provision of Section 421, subsection 1 of CAMA 2020, the annual return of a company limited by shares or guaranteed or unlimited shall be completed, signed, and delivered to the Corporate Affairs Commission not later than 42 days after the annual general meeting for the year? So have you updated your records with the CAC? Well done if you have. And if you have yet to do that, please hurry now to cac.gov.ng to file your return to avoid being struck off. The CAC remains committed to working hard to provide prompt and efficient service to customers in line with global best practices. And that does it for this week's editions of the program CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. For comment and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helpline. On Instagram and Facebook, it's Corporate Affairs Commission. On X, formerly Twitter, it's at CAC Nigeria 1. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng, and our website is cac.gov.ng. Our call center still remains 070-806-29000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program. Same time, same station. From me, Medina Azaki, and the whole team, it's bye for now.